Mr. B, XRP here, and welcome back. Wow, what a 24 hours we have seen. The XRP ETF absolutely shattered records for other ETFs that were launched this year. And compared to other digital asset ETFs, it's just absolutely awesome. Look, the market took a downturn yesterday. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't great, but that doesn't take away from what the XRP ETF did. And it's the first one, and it's a small company. So hang in there. We're going to talk about all things XRP ETF today. We're going to talk about what it means, what happened. The haters have come out. You're going to look at some of the haters and what they're saying, but it is all green lights for XRP moving forward. So let's look at the market right now. And we're at 16 extreme fear, right? But I always tell you guys, don't feel the fear. If you believe in what you're invested in, you need to hold the line and don't get scared when other people get scared. So Bitcoin's at 95,891, Ethereum's at 3,130, Tether is still holding comfortably at $1, and XRP's at $2.26, still up 4.32% on the 7-day, and it is leading in the top 10 for sure still, even though the market's taken the downturn. All right, so a couple of things. This was from Whale Watcher, breaking $300 million worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past 10 minutes. And that's what happens. I mean, people they capitulate, they leverage when the market, when the market goes down, a lot of bad things happen when people aren't in that steadfast belief in their investments. So you need to be there. And Dark Defender said it best. He said, poor, afraid, and they are impatient. Also, they leverage. Rich is brave, relaxed, because they are patient and do not leverage. Do not fear, stay strong. So I remember a day about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I literally was talking to a digital asset investor, and the market had dipped just below $100 billion. And it was like, oh my God, was this the death of crypto? And we immediately saw it bounce back. Could you imagine $100 billion compared to where we're at, like 3.5 trillion right now? It was unbelievable for sure. But anyway, look, we have great news here. All right, so Canary Capital announced this yesterday. Big day for the XRPC ETF, over 58.5 million in trading volume and 245 million in net inflows. I mean, wow, those are amazing numbers. It blows away my understanding. It blew away Solana. Well, it didn't blow it away. It beat Solana. It didn't actually blow it away, but it just beat Solana. So this was from Eric Blackanus, and he said, congrats XRPC for 58 million in one-day volume, the most of any ETF launched this year out of 900 of them. Barely edging out Solana at 57 million. The two of them are in a league of their own, though, as third place is over 20 million away. So it was a tremendous first day for the XRP ETF. This is from Nate Grassi, and Nate Grassi is the president of Nova Deus Wealth, co-founder of ETF Prime, ETF Institute. So this guy knows what he's talking about. A few people asking, how is it possible to have only 59 million trading volume, but nearly $250 million in inflows? The answer. So I want you to understand what those two numbers mean, right? Because it could be a little bit confusing. And I'm going to let them explain here. And this is Stephen McClurg from Canary Capital. He's going to explain it.
All three of these spot ETFs that you've brought to market all offer in-kind creations or redemptions, correct?
They do.
And talk more about that and just the structure of these products overall, just at a high level.
Yeah, so it's great that we can process in kind now. When Bitcoin Spot first launched, the SEC stopped in kind from happening, and in kind creates and redeems is really where the tax benefits come in. So what's the reason why it's really important in crypto is that there's a lot of people that actually hold tokens on their ledger or some other place that they necessarily don't want all of their tokens there, right? So think about Mt. Gox when it went down, or think about ledgers that have broken in the past. People want to probably diversify their holdings, and hold it in an ETF is probably one of the safest ways to do that, as opposed to exchanges or ledgers. And what we've seen as far as inflows coming in, about 85% of our inflows in HBAR has actually been in kind. And we're also seeing a large amount of orders this morning for in kind and XRP as well. One of the things that when in kind orders come in, you don't see it in trade volume. So trade volume is a little bit tricky. It doesn't necessarily translate one-to-one on AUM or inflows. It's just what's being transacted throughout the day. But when you have people moving their coins from a wallet or a ledger into an ETF, that trade volume doesn't occur because it is in kind.
Man, that is a great video. I mean, we are getting a tremendous education here on ETFs, how they work. So essentially, here's what that means. That means that there are people that already had, institutions or individuals or whoever it may be, already had XRP tokens, but they would prefer to have XRP as an ETF. And why would they prefer to have it as an ETF? Well, for compliance reasons, it might be easier for them to convert to an ETF, or they don't want the burden of keys and protection, to protecting their digital assets. Because look, an ETF it doesn't have the same risks that holding spot XRP would have, or any digital asset. So they might want it for that reason. So what they'll do is they'll trade their XRP for the XRP ETF, and that's why they do it. So that's what's called an in-kind transfer. And that was a tremendous video to see. All right, so Ashish Burla, who's the CEO of Evernorth, used to work at Ripple, says, XRP's edge has always been payments, speed, finality, and cost. Bringing the asset into ETF rails gives institutions the on-ramp they've asked for, with familiar workflows, daily NAVs, and audited financials, friction down, accountability up. So here's what that means. Financial advisors, most of them are not crypto native. They don't understand blockchain. And doing spot Bitcoin, meaning, or spot spot XRP, meaning having their customers, their investors, invest on Coinbase, on iTrust, wherever they might do it, it could be a burden. And also it might not show in their assets under management. So they prefer to do ETFs because it's easier, it's more compliant for them. Their compliance departments don't get as uncomfortable. And now we've put the 350,000 financial advisors in their comfort zone. ETFs are their comfort zone. Now, there are some financial advisors I've spoken to who are crypto native, who do want their investors to be directly invested in digital assets, but not many in comparison to those who want to do ETFs. So wanted to share that with you. All right, keep moving here. From Chad Steingraber, who's just knocking it out of the park with information. He says, if you're still asking why it didn't affect the price, meaning the XRP price, understand how the ETF process works. Tomorrow, T+1, the net inflows will be handed over to purchase the asset. What I'm saying is the ETFs are about to start going on a buying spree that will not stop once they start. Okay, there's a lot of truth to this, and I've seen a lot of debate on Twitter about this because somebody challenged them and said, that's not the case, they don't buy the next day. Well, I've done the research, and they have 24 hours to buy that XRP if they don't already hold it. And my understanding is that Canary was holding $100 million in XRP, so they had to go buy XRP. So they have up to 24 hours after to buy it. Look, this is just the minutia, the details of the first day. We're not going to analyze every ETF and every day of those ETFs, but I don't want the downslide of the market to take away from the significance of what is happening. And it is absolutely huge. And I'm going to explain it to you in just a second, even further. That we saw. Okay, here, another one from Chad Steingraber. I think you need to sit down and think about this real hard. This is pretty normal average net inflows for an hour of XRP. Canary XRPC just did $240 million in one day. There's dozens more coming, bigger than Canary. The point is, Canary's not a very big company. It's not a big institution. You know, we know that, and I think I might have it coming up here, but we know that Larry Fink, when asked about an XRP ETF for BlackRock, he said he couldn't talk about it. Well, BlackRock's not going to miss this party. I mean, you know, they're going to jump in, and it's just a matter of time before they file. And here was, you know, here's the quote: Larry Fink from BlackRock, "I can't talk about XRP." Well, he's going to, because they're not going to miss the party for sure. Okay, Paul Barron posted this. BlackRock missed this one. The battle is on now. They're coming. They're absolutely coming. And Dom Kwok from EZA got quoted by TradingView, which is great. They talked about what he'd said about the XRP ETF smashing records, which was kind of cool. Brad Garlinghouse came out to celebrate. He said, "It's finally happening." So, you know, it's just, this is big stuff. Don't let the down market affect your expectations of the future, your attitude. It's just another day in crypto. You know, I once heard it said, you can't expect hundreds of percent gains if you can't take, you know, 10% losses, right? I mean, so you've got it. This is a very different game than traditional finance, and you've got to believe in what you invest in. So look, the haters came out, right? They always do. The haters can't stop hating. So this particular hater is Matthew Siegel, and he is the head of digital asset research at Van Eck, right? Van Eck is an ETF company. And he said, "Dear XRP Maxis, I may never understand what your blockchain actually does, but I'll always respect the passion required to pretend it does something. So keep hustling." I mean, this is unbelievable. I can't even believe he said that. So the digital asset investor posted this on X, and he said, "Imagine being Van Eck's CEO. You're the CEO and have announced that you're launching an XRP ETF. Meanwhile, your head of research is out there bashing the product that you're about to try and convince your customers to buy. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Wacko. I don't live in a world where this guy isn't putting his blank in boxes." So, you know, it's ridiculous. I mean, some people shouldn't have an X account, a Twitter account, and shouldn't be out on social media. And this guy is one of them, because he's not good for business. So I don't think we've heard the last of that one. Okay, here's another one. Novogratz comes out yesterday, Mike Novogratz, and he makes a statement. I'm gonna play this statement because he's just always been an XRP hater. He always likes to say he's invested in Ripple, the company, but he just doesn't understand XRP. So let's listen to Mike Novogratz, his hate.
How do you turn something from being a token into money? It's a really, really complicated and difficult. So far, we've had a few that have done it. XRP has done it, and that surprised everybody, right? Because
did it surprise you?
It did. And listen, we're a big owner of XRP, the company, but the token
There's no XRP, the company. I mean, can you believe this guy has the money he has? There's no XRP, the company. He meant Ripple.
Because, you know, I had all the same reasons everyone else. It was less decentralized. It was not a true blockchain. You can all the criticisms at XRP. It missed something important. They built a fierce community of people that believed in their narrative and turned it into money. And for them, it's money.
Casting shade. That's what they do. I mean, this guy backed Luna, Solana, and Bitcoin in the early days. He was a Bitcoin maxi. I mean, but he will not speak positively about XRP, and we're going to make him eat it. Because when XRP eventually flips Ethereum again, and who knows, someday may take the position of Bitcoin, he's going to eat it, and we're going to let him eat it for sure. Hey, last thing before we go, iTrustCapital is my sponsor. Fantastic place to open up if you want to open up an IRA, which I highly recommend you look into IRAs, and we're going to talk about that a lot on my program. Also, they have premium custody accounts. You get institutional grade custody for your crypto. And by the way, you can in-kind transfer your crypto into iTrustCapital if you want to move it from that hot wallet that you have at your exchange that is hackable. If you want to move it to their institutional grade storage, you can move it right now. I have a link in the description of this video, and you'll also, if you'll use my link, and I appreciate if you do, you'll also get a $100 funding bonus as the thank you. So I really appreciate it. They're great people. Oh, by the way, 5-star rating on Google, 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Go find that with any exchange. You're not going to find it. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. It's still exciting out there. It's still great stuff. So, hey, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. Share my videos with anybody you think might appreciate them. Hit the like button. What the heck? Might as well. If you're still here, you're committed. I mean, absolutely. I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research. See you next time. Bye-bye.